So, as all United fans, I am buzzing. I'm counting down the days to this Sunday's game against Ipswich at Portman Road. It's our first league game against Ipswich in over 20 years, but that is not the reason we're all excited. The new era begins. Our first Ineos manager in the Ineos era. I think the ambition I think Ineos' intentions was always to sack Ten Hag quite early in this stint. I think he bought himself some time with that FA Cup final win, and I agreed with keeping him on. But we, for 3 years, just had no identity. Even when we were playing well, it was just counter-attacking. Nothing like Ten Hag's principles at Ajax that he was so strong about when he came. Ruben's just got this different feel about him. In his first interview, he was talking specifically about how the principles of the player's character and work rate are the main thing he's concerned about. 4-3-3, 3-4-3, whatever you want to talk about, that doesn't matter. It's all about the player's work rate. And now it is time to implement the formation and to see how Ruben sets up on Sunday, or in my case, on Monday. I've given a go at, I've had a go at Ruben's first lineup for Ipswich. So I've made up 3 lineups here. First of all, this is something that has been running the rounds on Twitter. So Ruben ran his first training session at United today, and this is the team he had out on the park. So no goalkeeper, but this was just training. So the back 3 was Luke Shaw, Johnny Evans, Lenny Yoro. I think Luke Shaw's only role in Ruben's system, if he can stay fit, is at centre back. He certainly just cannot meet the demands of a left wing back role. And how Ruben set up at Sporting and how he's likely to set up, as you can see here, is by playing one inverted winger and one modern fullback. They both have to be hard runners. They both have to have a high work rate. I'm not saying Shaw doesn't have a high work rate, but a guy like Tyrone Malacia, again, if he can stay fit, is much more suited to Ruben's system. So I only really see Luke Shaw working under Amorim as a left centre-back. Johnny Evans was playing, as well as Lenny Yoro, who I think is certainly going to be the right centre-back to start under Ruben. I think he'll eventually adapt into the middle guy in that back 3, but that is the back 3 he went with for his first training session. Obviously, international duties happening, so Lissandro, I think Lissandro has come back a bit early, but he was away with Argentina, I believe, and as well as Matthijs de Ligt. So in the long term, it will be a Euro, De Ligt, Martinez back 3, but Luke Shaw definitely does have a role to play there. He had Malacia, which is great to see. Made his return in the under-21s team against Huddersfield. Had a really good game. Not a really good game, but for the standards of missing football for 2 years and coming back, like, he looked like he was working hard, he looked like he was running well. And then the inverted winger, like how Amorim likes to play, with Anthony. And I think Anthony has a massive role in this Amorim system. Or, not a massive role, but a massive chance to revitalise his United career. He's a hard worker. I think we'll get the most out of him if we end up playing him as a left wing back, but I just don't think we're going to deploy him there. I hope he does, and I'll show you what I would love to see a little bit later. But that's what he's looking at. Malacia is just more fit to that system than Shaw as a wide player. Again, I think we're going to be in the window for a new left wing back. I think Alvaro Carreras or Fernandez used to be here. I think he's going to get bought back with that buyback clause. I'd love a guy like Ryan Nuri at Wolves, Milos Kerkez at Bournemouth. I think they're the guys that really fit this Amorim system, and will definitely be in the market for 1 or 2 new left backs. And then it's interesting to see what we're going to do with that inverted winger. I've got a feeling to start, we're going to be playing Dallo or Mazraoui on the right, and we'll have Garnacho on the left. I've got some questions about Garnacho's work rate, I'll be honest, playing in that role, but I hope it works out. In the training session, he had Casemiro and Mainu as the pivot. Casemiro, I just don't think is going to be a long-term player. Look, ever since we've signed him, he had a really down season last season. That first season under Ten Hag was absolutely unreal, like prime Real Madrid Casemiro. This season, he's really revitalised himself. He had that terrible Liverpool game, but apart from that, has been fantastic. but I just don't think he has the legs to run a double pivot alongside Manu. I think in the long term it will be UCATT and Manu, but that's how he set up in training. And with Bruno away international duty, and with also Højlund away international duty, he had Rashford up top and Mason Mount in that left attacking mid role. So Bruno will definitely play the role of Mount. But Mason Mount does have a role to play. I think that Brighton game earlier this season is a fantastic reminder of Mason Mount's pressing abilities and his ability to play in a high-tempo team. And obviously Tuchel played in a back three at Chelsea where Mount was playing his best football, and this is exactly what Amorim's going to bring to the Reds. I did read some reports before this training session came out last week that Amorim was going to look to deploy Rashford as a number 9. He did set Rashford up as the 9 in this session. Interesting. Look, I think Højlund will still be there as first choice up top. Xerxes in this system, I don't see how it works. I'm a bit scared for Xerxes. I'm not really sure how he fits in Amorim ball. But I think Rashford's going to have a role to play up top. I still think it will be Højlund, but they're going to have to rotate because if Højlund's starting, I don't really see where Rashford gets in the team unless he plays in that left wing-back role, which, again, there are questions about his work rate, but if he can work hard, he'd be a fantastic candidate in that position. And I think in this lineup we've got right here, there is Ahmad is the most nailed player. In that right attacking mid system, as the right attacking mid, he is just absolutely perfect. Picks chances off on the inside. He's so controlled with the ball at his feet. He is just perfect for that position. I think Ahmad is super, super nailed. So that's how we set up in training. This is something I'd like to see. Not necessarily what I would pick, but it's something I'd like to see trialed. So no surprise with the Nana, Martinez, De Ligt, Yoro. UCATT Manu is definitely my pivot. As the wide players, I think Mazraoui's technical ability is too good to have on the bench. I think Dalot's poor form as of late has been because he has just played every game for the past 2 years. It's been ridiculous. Yes, Bruno also does that, but not everybody's Bruno. Bruno's an absolute robot. I think Dalot's just burning out. So I'd like to see Mazraoui being given a run of games, considering he's been our best player this season. And Amorim's not going to do this because he plays with the inverted winger and the wing back. But Anthony at left wing back, I'd love to see. Usually with his inverted winger, he has that winger typically be very comfortable with both feet. Anthony as a right wing back's just not going to work. He cannot use that right foot still. And I'd love to see him deployed as a left wing back. We said a left back in the Ten Hag system could be a solution for Anthony. A left wing back in an Amorim system is even more of a solution. I think I'm just trying to make an excuse for Anthony having a future at United, but I'd like to see it deployed. And then that front three picks itself, I think. Bruno, Højlund, Ahmad. You can rotate Højlund with Rashford. You can rotate Bruno with Mount. I think it works. Ahmad's the only guy you can't really rotate. There's not another player in that position. I mean, who would you go after to maybe compete with Ahmad? I think we'll have to go after a right-sided player. And this is what I think Amorim will go with in the long term. And it's basically that exact lineup I've just showed you, but I've changed the wider players. I think Garnacho as the inverted winger will be picked. His work rate really, as of late, hasn't been very good. You saw a few games ago, Casemiro just give him an absolute belting for not tracking back. But Dalot in the long term, I think, will be Amorim's right back because of his tank. I think Mazraoui is a far better technical player, but Dalot's tank, he will just keep on running non-stop. And the fact we've got competition in that position is a good thing. So Dalot won't play every game, but I think in the long term, as the first choice right back, I think it will be Dalot. And then that back three picks itself. I mean, Yoro is our only wide centre-back that can really defend the channels. I think Maguire might have a role. He's quite good in a back three, but as a forward-thinking high-line back three, I'm not sure how it will go. Obviously, under Southgate for England in that back three around the Euro 2020 period, he was really good. And then I think that midfield pivot picks itself. UCATT and Manu, come on. And yeah, I just think that's the lineup Amorim will go for in the long term, but there are so many areas to change. I think Alvaro Fernandez will be brought in. I think Gyökeres will be looked at as a striker. We've got Cheeto Obi Martin coming through the ranks, who apparently Amorim's going to try fast track through. So look, we've got so many options. I'm very, very excited for this new Ruben era. If you did enjoy it and you want more United and just Premier League content in general. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. It would be much appreciated. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all for a doubleheader this Saturday night. We'll be live for Leicester vs Chelsea and Arsenal vs Forest, as well as a doubleheader on Sunday night between Southampton and Liverpool, and the big one, Ipswich vs Man United. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, and cheers.